So we're nearing the end. We're nearing the end. The winner of this is going to face the winner of Apocalypse and Summerloud to finish off the losers bracket. Got the semifinals of the winners bracket and then the final. So at most, there's 3 rounds. I mean, well, really 2, because 2 of them are happening simultaneously. So I do plan on casting Winter v. Scaphism. I'm curious to know who's going to win in the losers round. BuRny's been playing very well. I'd be intrigued to see if we have a rematch between BuRny and Winter, but I'm not counting my chickens because there's a lot of good players left in the semifinals for sure. All right, bottom left, we've got Rain playing Nerazim again. He did random with Dominion Nerazim, got Nerazim. Upper right, we have Dominion. Dominion from BuRny. I'm excited to see some more Dominion. I feel like I haven't seen enough Dominion. I really want to know what they can do. This is a great opportunity to even see what they can do. Ah, so that's cool. You can research advanced construction. And yeah, you start with a planetary fortress, but that's Dominion's defensive ability. It's not active all the time. You actually have to use the... Oh, excuse me. Had like a semi-burp there. Had to suppress it. Activate Ibex Cannon. Ibex? Activate Ibex Cannon. So we'll see if that will ever be used to a good extent. This match, if BuRny ever even has to. I like his little duck, too. It's a nice little duck. All right, both planners running the ladder client. Again, a little bit of advertisement for HeptaCraft. Make sure you give it a shot if you're interested and you like playing StarCraft. It's definitely very different from vanilla StarCraft. I personally find vanilla laddering more stressful because I know that a lot of it comes down to build orders. And if you don't perform your build order as good as the opponent's build order, assuming you've scouted them, then you lose, right? This is... Obviously, there's mechanical challenges. You have to be mechanically good at the game. You have to be able to push buttons faster than your opponent as usual. But the difference is you kind of have to scout what your opponent's doing, and then you just sort of do things. You do what you think you have to do. There are no build orders for HeptaCraft, at least not yet. And I really don't expect there to really be. So I really like that type of play. It's much more reactionary as opposed to, well, my opponent's doing this, so I got to do my build order to get this, this, and this. Instead, you see... I guess the best way I describe it is you see some players playing scrappier, and I like that a lot. That's the big difference between vanilla ladder and this, in my opinion. And I may be totally off base, but that's just my opinion on how I see the difference here. That doesn't mean I totally hate vanilla ladder. I don't really play it. Like I said, I find it a little stressful, and I play StarCraft a lot already, so sometimes I get a little sick of it. We do have a Fnatic running in. We got 2 Marines here. We'll see if they're going to be able to clean this up. The Fnatic, though, running in, doing huge damage to that Marine, causing them to run away. These Marines do have 55 health. They start with free combat shields. That's the difference with Dominion Marines. They seem a little slow, though. I'm not sure if that's normal or not. I don't know the exact stats compared to vanilla, so I think these Marines are slightly slower. They do the same amount of damage, but they start with good combat shields, 55 health instead of just 50 as well. So let's see if this Fnatic can eventually swing his arms enough to bust through this supply depot. It doesn't really look like it. We do have a fast Dark Council coming up from Rain, and then we also have Warp Pylons. So to me, that means that there might be Dark Templar coming up. BuRny, though, has scouted the Dark Council. He knows it's there, and you can get Blink with that. We did see some really good Blink plays, so that could mean Blink. That could mean Dark Templar. All right, these Fanatics really want to try to get through here, and it looks like Rain with some really good micro, pulling those Fanatics out before they run out of energy, and then the Nerazim shields, to see how fast those come back. You can run up and just keep poking away at that supply depot, but BuRny now going to repair it right now. All right, so Warp Pylons coming out. Looks like Stalkers were unlocked at the Cyber Core as well. The Warp Gates, yeah, so Stalkers were unlocked. We haven't seen any Adepts. Adepts cost Terrazine. You have to, not only do you have to unlock Adepts, like you do for Stalkers, but they cost Terrazine for every single one you build, which is pretty crazy to me. Still trying to run up with the Fanatics. Now we have a Stalker there. Going to try to pick off some of these Marines hiding behind the depots. And now Rain trying to put a little pressure on, forcing BuRny to react to this rather than just pure macro. And I feel like that can make a big difference. I feel like that can make a big difference in these games, is if you can distract your opponent into doing what you want them to do, or rather doing something other than just pure macro, that can make a big difference. Both players on one base play right now. One thing I also really like about a lot of these games is we've seen, see, these are heavy infantry, not marauders, interesting, is that we've seen a lot of players do a lot of one base play and put a lot of pressure on, but it doesn't just end the game. It's not just, oh, it's a one base all in, the game's over. No, it's like you can see some one base play and then a transition into a late game. I like that a lot. These heavy infantry are pretty neat. They do extra damage versus armored. You do 2 attacks, they're doing 16 damage against these stalkers. That's pretty noticeable. I'm not sure why the term Marauder was just ditched, but regardless, that's pretty neat. They do have slow aiming. That's something we've also seen in on Dragoons from Kali. It basically means that a unit has to come in range, and there's a split second where it sort of primes its weapon. So you can sort of kite and run away at the last second to avoid getting hit, but they do hit for hard against specific things. It looks like Rain gonna circumvent and go through these rocks. I'm not really sure if BuRny realized this is happening right now. I mean, I assume he sees this. You can, I mean, I thought it'd be a little more hidden than that. It looks like he's going to send his units all the way around. Will he get there, though, in time before these stalkers get through the rocks? It looks like he's found the proxy, and the stalkers have been pulled off away from destroying the rocks, and it looks like we have our first major engagement right here as BuRny trying to get rid of the proxy pylon. Not successful, though. This amount of stalkers with fast blink, able to pick off a lot of the early infantry from BuRny. BuRny might be in some slight trouble here trying to get a missile turret down, maybe for oracles or something like that. And now we have medics trying to heal up, and BuRny GGing with the very fast proxy with that warp pylon upgrade with the stalker blink. That was really, really excellent timing there by Rain, taking out BuRny in game 2. So we have a 1-1 matchup.